Hi, my name is Jared. I'm one of the team leaders for the Casco Regional Invasive Species Partnership this year. In this presentation, I'll be explaining a little bit about what our program does, how aquatic invasive species affect waterways, and how our program is helping to prevent the spread of aquatic invasives into Otsego Lake. So the CRIS program places watershed stewards at various boat launches throughout a designated region. We cover DEC and some private launches in Otsego County, Delaware County, Sullivan County, and Schenectady County. While at these launches, our stewards will engage with the public, they'll discuss aquatic invasive species, they'll look for any possible aquatic invasives being transported on boats coming in or out of the water, and they'll collect data through surveys completed with each fisherman and boater. Aquatic invasive species are costly to manage and they're very destructive toward native species. Once they're introduced, it's very difficult, if not impossible, to remove them, causing the U.S. to spend millions of dollars in management each year. Once introduced, they can alter the environment, making recreational activities like boating, fishing, or even swimming difficult. You can see in the top left photo here a motor that is completely covered in a mat of plants. Just to the right of that, you can see a propeller that was left in the water, where mussels have completely invaded over the propeller and even inside of it a bit. Once introduced, these species can outcompete the natives, causing the native populations to drop while the invasive species will continue to rise. There are also some potential health concerns involved in invasive species. One you might think of is zebra mussels. I know many of you have probably walked around in the water, stepping on the rocks, and next thing you know, you step in a zebra mussel and you cut your foot open. So one of the newer introduced invasives to Otsego Lake is quagga mussels. Now you probably know its cousin, the zebra mussels, very well, as they've been heard about in New York State for quite a long time. Quagga mussels and zebra mussels are very similar in a lot of ways, with a few distinctions. You can notice in the picture at the top is a zebra mussel, and it has kind of a triangular shape. If you take a zebra mussel and you set it down, it'll actually stand on its own. But quagga mussels are more rounded, so if you take them and you try and set them on their side, they're just going to fall over. The zebra mussels can colonize on hard surfaces such as rocks, the bottoms of boats, pipes that are left in the water, whatever they can find that's hard enough to stick to. Whereas quagga mussels can colonize on hard surfaces as well as soft substrates, such as mud, silt, and sediments, etc. You've probably noticed in the past couple years an increase in water clarity. Quagga mussels were actually discovered last year, and we're doing our best to help mitigate any new species spreading to Candarego Lake. This is a map that shows different points of origins for boaters coming to Otsego Lake. You can notice that there's some from around Otsego County, and then there are some from outside of Otsego County in different counties of New York. And then you can also see that there are some that are out of state, come from places like New Jersey, Massachusetts, or Vermont. The red outline there is the CRISP region. That is the entire region that we cover. At Lakefront this year, we've had an overall positive response from the public. There's a steward at that launch just about every single day. And there's even been a town steward hired by Coopertown that is collecting launch fees as well as helping us to perform inspections and collect data. Here's just a comparison of the 2020 and 2021 data from May and July up to August 1st. You can see last year it was mostly motorboats. You have a lot of canoes coming in, kayaks, and various other boats. The total number of surveys from last year that we did up to August 1st was about 1,755. If you look at the total for this year, it's quite a bit lower. This is possibly due to lifting on COVID restrictions and people being able to travel much easier. At Lakefront, there's also a power washer available on site for decontaminating boats coming in and out. If you come to the launch, we find something on the boat when you're coming in, whether it be plant material, mussels, standing water, we can use the power washer station and completely decontaminate the boat before they enter the water. If you're coming out and you want us to wash off your boat before you leave, because you want it to be clean before you go to the next water body, we will gladly wash off the entire boat for you free of charge. This would include us spraying down the hole, flushing out the water intake, and once the entire process is done, we attach these small crisp seals that tell other stewards that your boat has been cleaned, it hasn't been in any other water body, and it also tells them where it was last. So if you come back to Otsego Lake with this tag and you see us, we know that you haven't been anywhere else, your boat's cleaned, and there's no risk of contamination to the water. We've also recently built a permanent disposal station on Fish Road at Lakefront. There's previously been one on Fair Street on the side for quite a while. Last year we had a temporary setup for a disposal station on Fish Road, and this year we opted into building a permanent one instead, for it to stay there at the launch. This allows for easier access for aquatic plant disposal on Fish Road, rather than having to run over to the other side and throw your plants in the box on the other launch. At Brookwood Point, we've had some steward presence, although it is mostly only busy during holiday weekends. We found that during the regular weeks, there isn't a whole lot of use by the launch itself. To combat our lack of presence at this launch site, we have created a self-service station last year, which is available on site, and this provides the public with directions on how to decontaminate your boat, as well as all the supplies to do so. A promotion video / demonstration video was created with the help of the Otsego Land Association and the Otsego County Conservation Association to help promote this station's use. Below here I have attached the YouTube link for anyone who wishes to view the video. And this is a picture of the setup we have. You can see that behind that brown sign there is a dunk bucket with potassium chloride solution in it. There's extra towels and the vinegar bottle solution within the bucket to the right. And the white sign itself has directions on how to properly decontaminate your boat, as well as some information on aquatic invasives. At Springfield Landing, we've had some steward placement around sporadically during the week, and pretty regular placement during the weekends. This launch site is typically residents, but we do get out-of-state people here, mostly because they own land in Springfield. So owning land in Springfield allows you to have access to this private launch, meaning we will get some people from New Jersey or other states that decide to live here and come during the summer or whenever they feel like to take their boats into Otsego Lake from this private launch. While we do have a typically repetitive interaction with people at this launch, it's, like I said, it's typically residents, people who are always coming here, only coming to this lake. Any data collection that we get helps, despite this being a repetitive interactions. So for future hopes in the 2021 season, we would like to have a continued positive interaction at Lakefront, as well as have an increased usage of the power washer. It does get used quite often, but we would like to have more people coming out of the waters, getting their boat decontaminated than they are right now. We'd also like to have greater facilitation of use, or facilitated use, of the self-service station at Brookwood Point. In the past, we've noticed that people have seen the station, but they kind of walk away from it, seeing that it's there, but not really sure what it's for. While we've had stewards placed there, we've had them inform the public about the station itself, why it's there and what it does, and that has helped to increase use of the station. We'd also like to have continued positive interaction with Springfield residents. Like I said, despite it being a constant repetitive interaction with a person who is regularly coming to that launch, only coming to that launch, we want to continue to have this positive interaction with them. We also like to continue our adequate coverage this year on Otsego Lake. We are short-staffed this year, having a difficulty with covering some of the launches. But despite that, we've been having quite the success in covering Otsego Lake regularly. If you have any questions about anything on this presentation, feel free to email me at either one of these emails. I will get back to you as soon as I can. With that, we'll conclude my presentation. I hope you enjoyed it. Thank you very much for watching.